Hi Aries, here's a general look at your solar chart for the whole of 2014. This is going to be a very quick overview because there's a lot to fit in, but there's a more detailed look at things for your sign over 2014 on my website. So Mercury goes retrograde 3 times in 2014, and the dates you'll find on my website. Also, there's going to be 2 solar eclipses, and one on April the 29th is happening in Taurus, and the other on October the 23rd is happening in Scorpio, and how that may be affecting you, you'll find that on my website too. The big banner across the sky is going to be the Cardinal Cross in the heavens, and this is going to be affecting us all, particularly over the April-May. It's coming in later March, but April-May period. 2014, and this is the ongoing, very conflicting, disruptive square angle between Uranus and Pluto, but then we get Mars and Jupiter coming in there as well. So you, as one of the cardinal signs, are going to be most strongly affected, or if you've got one of the cardinal signs rising. This configuration in our heavens is yet another moment of choice as the mass consciousness moves and shifts from the Piscean to the Aquarian age. The cardinal signs are the movers and shakers in this world. It always was that way, and it always will be that way. And so you are right in the thick of it now, and the way you guys are handling what the universe is dishing out at the moment, particularly, well, when I say at the moment, I mean between 2011 and 2015-16, is generational. It's a generational effect, and will, to an extent, how you handle this will, to an extent, set the precedent for what follows, as that precedent is set further down the line. So for you, Aries, as one of the cardinal signs hosting the long-running Uranus-Pluto square, you have Uranus in your sign. This is a time in your life when things are coming up to the surface, and what's previously been hidden begins to reveal itself in all of its raw power, a bit like a volcano beginning to rumble, and in some cases erupting, and it's very disorientating, and this wasn't like this before, and you don't quite know what's going on. And there's always 3 stages to, because Uranus is touching off Pluto, and Pluto is all about the deep, dark, down there, repressed, hidden, subconscious stuff. So this is affecting the planet with, you know, all kinds of revolutionary things going on all over the place. And it's not an easy transitioning from one stage of evolution to the next. But you will get the chance here now, once the disorientation is beginning to settle down and you're beginning to surrender to it, and realizing that the old ways aren't working anymore, and certain things can't be swept under the rug anymore, and you've got to see to it, you've got to deal with it. Maybe you can just let go of the oars. If you've been paddling ferociously upstream, maybe you've just got to let go of the oars, and your boat will turn towards the place of your true will, of your deepest desire, of your more authentic self, and that's the place of healing, joyfulness, and incredible power. Yeah, you guys are right out in front, but kind of that's where the cardinal signs like to be. Now, both Venus and Mars are going to be in long transits this year. Venus came into Capricorn on November the 5th, 2013, and will stay there until March the 6th, 2014. And even though it still is quite a busy, hot, slightly conflicting angle to your sun sign, it's in a good position for you, and it's gracing your area of career, but also your goals in life, your general life direction, your master plan. And it will tend to mean that those in positions of power, whether they're bosses or officials or parents or teachers or just anybody that, you know, seems to hold all the cards, it tends to be more well disposed towards you, but of course you've got to work the energy and you've got to play your cards right. Mars, your ruling planet, entered into your opposite sign Libra on December the 8th, 2013, and will stay there until July the 25th, 2014, and that's an extraordinarily long transit of Mars, dynamically activating close personal or professional relationships, sort of one-to-one relationships, so they can be long-term ones, short-term ones, fleeting ones, one-to-one work. So because of certain associations or work collaborations or, really close partnerships, family as well, you could be extra busy, and you will probably get more than ever done actually over this period here. There's going to be a lot more hustle and bustle, bouncing ideas off another, and more demand on your ability to make decisions. But of course it could be somebody else's demands that are tiring you out, so just watch that. The indications are, though, that you can be very active in a team, in a dynamic duo, Batman and Robin, and much of your effort will go into cooperative action. And in the love department, well, you and somebody could be hitting it off big style. You could be feeling also competitive, either because of the love department or because of something else. And definitely just, almost like those competitive juices are flowing, and you're not in the mood to hang around. You want to get going, you want to get the ball rolling. Or it might be that the Mars energy is coming more towards you, and others are wanting to get the ball rolling. Others are demanding from you that you make more effort, that you take decisions, etc., etc. So it might just be time to take the bull by the horns. Equally, you could be in a relationship with someone who is really putting your back up because of their actions. And, then the swords cross. And Mars, of course, is the fire planet, and you are the fire sign, and Mars is your ruler. So you tend to be a bit competitive or feisty and impatient anyway. So as long as you air things, as long as you bring things out into the open, because this is a teamwork phase, you do better teaming up than you do on your own now, and you can do very well on your own. We all know that. But this is a time when you've really got to calm down, sit back, be quiet, and listen to figure out where that other person is in their mind, on their path, what stage they're at, you see, because they might not be running as fast as you, or the other way around, and they need to simmer down, just be quiet and listen to you. So as long as you're not running roughshod over others, and you can really listen to things from each other's point of view, and they're not running roughshod over you, but it's more likely to be the other way around in a way, and you look for compromises, you look for win-win solutions, then all will be well. And you certainly will be able to achieve more together with somebody else than separately. Jupiter will be in Cancer at the root of your chart until July 16th, 2014, and then it'll go into Leo. So until mid-July, Jupiter remains in your home area, expanding your life through location, through property matters, through the domestic setup, maybe physically expanding the space in some way. And maybe you get more access to a place you prefer, or you can just go from your place to another place, and in that way expansion happens. Perhaps changes are happening where more visitors are coming into your space, or you're more the visitor into others, opening you up to new experiences. Family could expand. There could be a new arrival. And there could be fresh experiences which teach you a lot, whether that's in a formal or an informal way on the home base or away from the home base. It could be more travel. Of course, you could be doing a home study course or doing a lot more over the wires from home. That's another way it can expand. So, but on another level, more, your comfort zone should expand. Emotionally, you should feel more settled. You should feel more a sense of belonging, and got more sort of feeling of security somehow or other either through, you know, property or family or just what's going on in the foundations of your life. And all of you Arians are going to be feeling the energy of Jupiter, either from Cancer or from Leo this year. Jupiter comes into Leo on July the 16th and is in a very positive angle to your sun sign, because Leo is another fire sign. So this is the start of a 12-month period when you may be kind of more on show, more appreciated for yourself, doing things which allow you to be more creatively expressive or enterprising. And there could be more call upon you to sort of perform or promote or kind of project in a way. So you're flexing your creative muscles, and this transit could help bring romance into your life as well. Or again, it's about children, this area too, so it can again, I'll say, be a new arrival. You could take up some sort of hobby or sport or leisure pursuit, or you're just finding that you're getting more joyfulness out of one that was already happening, but now it really starts to mean more to you and you're doing better at it. So, and this is going to teach you a lot, and your understanding can grow through those sorts of things, through contact with children, with animals, romantic partners, the leisure industry, the entertainment industry, and speculative ventures. Any kind of enterprise is a very enterprising area, and you could be rubbing shoulders with others who are competitive, or indeed artistic as well, because this area here is very creatively self-expressive, so you could be getting more chance to go into artistic activities and be in a more socially playful kind of environment or lifestyle. And your personal power should start to grow over these months. And as I say, all you Arians are going to feel the influence of Jupiter either from Cancer or from Leo over this year. Now Saturn's going to be in Scorpio until Christmas Eve 2014, and for you Aries, Saturn is in this gear change zone of your solar chart. It's in an easier angle to your sun than it was up until October 2012. However, this area here means a clearing of the decks, and in the process there can be quite a lot of turbulence going on inside of you, but this clearing of the decks is necessary for the next important stage of your life. So this can involve lots of things. It might be your health. It might be through health matters that you've got to square up to, you know, just what the situation is and what needs to be done. This may involve property, finances, relationship, the job, place on the map. I mean, it can involve anything, and you'll become more aware over this time of what your absolute bottom line is. You will kind of come up against a force that will make you see that, and in the process you'll have to let go. Again, there's a lot about letting go here, so you'll have to let go of a previous standpoint, setup, arrangement, contract, lifestyle, habit, belief. I mean, it depends on lots and lots of factors. So ditching or modifying a prior agreement or setup or way of being in favor of one which is more comfortable for you, and that's likely to be very, very gradual. You'll keep feeling as though there's this block here and that block there and that hurdle and this obstacle and that wall, and you know, and you're shimmying up ropes and you're scrabbling over the top and you're getting down. It's slow. But that's the way Saturn operates. She's a stress tester, and she can't, you know, every now and again with a Saturn transit, she'll kind of knock us over the head with her little silver hammer to see, you know, if we can take it. So yeah, so there's that going on, and there's likely to be a removal of something that you thought was written in stone, or you thought was there forever, or you really rely upon. If it's like a financial thing or a property thing, it can be a health thing as well, and that then makes you fearful. Saturn rules fearfulness. because that's often our way of responding to Saturn stuff. But because you see that as a loss, and what am I going to do? It's fearful. Whereas if you looked at it in a different kind of a way, you might be kind of feeling more comfortable about it. It might be a loss in the short term, but we're very myopic creatures. We don't see very far. That's why I do astrology, because it's kind of like a weather, long range weather forecast. So beyond this period, actually when Saturn does transit out of there at the end of the year, or indeed if you're very early Aries, Saturn will have kind of come off your sun now. However, it might be on another planet, but the sun is the bit I'm talking about at the moment. Then, you know, we can zoom out on the map and we can actually see it's a much brighter, easier, sunnier, you know, path ahead. You should be reworking things on the inner plane. Some of you may be getting counseling, some of you may be doing some healing work, some of you may be getting interested in the occult and astrology. I mean, not that the two are linked really at all, but you know, in things which are a bit different. Then you will be, in a way, recycling yourself, or recycling the finances, recycling the budget, the property, the relationship, the job, whatever it is, or literally going down the dump, you know, and dumping stuff, having a really big clear out, because actually that would very much meet the criteria of Saturn here. But you might be kind of a little bit reluctant, because that's the Saturn energy kind of slowing you down and making you hesitate. So either way, you will be slowly transitioning into this fresh perspective, and there will be quite a lot going on inside of you, probably more than others realize. But one way or another, over this long transit, your value structure will be changed and reshaped. A different way this can work is that you take more seriously working on yourself, you know, what you eat, how you can be more resourceful within a relationship with somebody else, you know, and make more of the resources. During this period, you'll have to be patient and persevering as the cogs of the gears slowly shift into their new positions. The new Arians born from the 4th of April to, or with 15 degrees Aries rising onwards, over the whole year, you're going to feel this energy the most. Uranus continues in hard aspect to Pluto over 2014. I mentioned that before. And those of you born in the second 10 days of Aries will have a continuation of, or the start of, changes which affect your sense of self and who you are in the wider world. You may feel a restless urge to express yourself in a freer, more independent manner. Spiritual or psychological insight could rock your world as you just, the revelation is like, wow, I didn't know all that was there. You may find yourself more connected to a group of others with an interest or expertise in common. Technology of any kind or anything related to the internet could be emphasized with this very strong Uranian energy in your sun sign, Aries. And in general, you could be connecting with others as part of this process over the wires of self-identity and transformation. This period could hold surprises. Uranus always is a bit like a jack-in-a-box, but tends to awaken you suddenly, if somewhat uncomfortably at times. It can really jar your nerves, you know. But it's definitely designed to catapult you out of your familiar box. And so expect the unexpected and do your best to roll with the changes. You could be taking a more rebellious stance. Others could be raising their eyebrows and saying, what's up with her, him? Because you weren't like that before. You know, you always tolerated it. I mean, there might be some finger pointing that comes along. But this is part of the spirit of revolution. You're kind of flexing your freedom-loving muscles, and it will ultimately facilitate change and transformation with Pluto, of course, part of this significant process in your consciousness growing. And you children of the Ram, born 28th of March to the 7th of April, or with 8 to 17 degrees rising, going to feel that energy the most. Neptune's in this very background, chrysalis-like area of your chart, and will be there up until the 2025, 4, 5, something like that. So you just got to be more supportive to others, maybe more healing to others, maybe more spiritual with others, but also with yourself. You know, you've got to be more careful about boundaries with this one here. And some of you could have strange encounters or psychic experiences, because Neptune stimulates the third eye. So get into things like yoga and healing practices, but also the arts. That's a very, very nice one to do with the Neptune here. And, you know, don't let yourself become a martyr because, you know, you're trying to hold up everything for others. Now, the life-changing force of Pluto, I've mentioned before, I'll mention again. This is when you should be listening to the more primitive part of your knowing. And over 2014, you'll be wanting to get more control over relationships with professionals, officials, parents, or build a reputation which is more true to the real you and your evolving values. Pluto influences you to feel more intensely, and it tends to bring out the demons, you know, your demons, but also you project that onto others. And so you could meet that intensity through maybe some conflict or disappointment, through the power of authority figures, those who seem to hold all the cards, no matter who they are, and are in control of things. But this manifestations of Pluto will also force you to look within and ask some deeper questions about where you really want to be in the big world. You know, what's it all about? What exactly am I doing? You know, I came into this room called Planet Earth. Now, I forget, why did I come in here? You know, I get that all the time nowadays. So, I mean, there might be some power struggles. There might be some real sort of clashing of wills. But if you look to yourself and make the major changes, and this really is a major change time for you, particularly the ones that are on the degree of where Pluto and Uranus, and also Mars and Mars and Jupiter are going to be, then it's ultimately good, because if you start to make the changes, you're meeting the criteria, and it's almost like the door begins to swing open, or your boat, as I said earlier, if you let go of the oars, and it will just turn like to the magnetic north of your true best, highest good, and just start floating in that direction. So it might be a strange feeling to let go of the oars and not try so hard, but start doing things that you really enjoy. Start hanging out with the sort of people that don't cause this turmoil, this conflict. Just start, you know, doing those little things every day, and there will be this regeneration. And even if you've got to switch boats midstream, and that might be to do with your professional life. So if it feels right, even though you may think, this is crazy, why am I doing this? If it feels right, then it supports your deeper values, go for it. So finding a fresh direction or another option means steering a new course, but also, as I said, probably the little boat will just steer itself in a way. Of course, you've got to kind of, you know, use your common sense, and it might take some guts, which you have in abundance, and tenacity, which you maybe need to practice a bit, Aries, but Pluto will give you that thing that you need, and not necessarily what you think you want. And you Arians born the 30th of March to the 4th of April with 10 to 14 degrees rising, going to feel this energy the most over 2014, and that's it. I wish you much happiness and success and interesting challenges over 2014, and I'll see you again soon.